What's up guys, I'm Vince and this is VinceVentures. This is the story of how my brother and I decided to drive our late grandfather's 1996 Renault Megane Coach 1.6e to the North Cape, the most northern point in Europe that you can access by car. In the last video you've seen us driving from our hometown in Germany to Norway in a single day and arriving in the middle of the night in our beautiful Airbnb for the first night. You can find the link to the Airbnb in the description box of my last video. It was perfect for arriving in the middle of the night, everything was prepared, clean and the bed was comfortable. In the next morning we slept a little longer and got up at 10 AM, had breakfast and checked the route for the day. For our second day of the trip and our first day in Norway, we planned on driving past Oslo and to spend the night near Otta. We also thought about driving into Oslo, but unfortunately we didn't have enough time and didn't want to spend the day in traffic. The route for the day was around 450 kilometers and 5 hours driving time. We decided to split the time up by taking a break at the Kistefos Museum near Oslo. We couldn't have wished for better weather for our first day. It was 22 degrees, sunny and partly cloudy, and there was only one short rain shower. Somehow, Norway reminded us a little bit of the US. The wooden houses, yellow markings on the roads. We were excited to see everything in the daylight, and the roads were so nice, empty, and around every corner there was an even more beautiful landscape waiting for us. This actually turned out to be the theme of Norway for the next couple of days. It's such a beautiful country. We took advantage of the nice weather and tried our rented drone for the first time. We were not used to seeing such large fields with so few houses on them. After about 2 hours of driving, we arrived at the Kistefos Museum. The Kistefos Museum is a contemporary art museum containing also sculptures and a special building called the Twist, which is also a bridge and a gallery. I have always been interested in architecture and saw a picture of that building once in an article, and when my brother told me the museum is right on our way anyway, we just had to go there. The entry price was 15 euros per person and absolutely worth the money. In the museum you can go around the big park and look at the different sculptures and the paintings inside the Twist, but also there is the old building of the wood pulp mill and the Kistefos waterfall from where the factory pulled its electricity. After exploring the park and taking many photos, we continued our drive at around 5 PM. The landscape started to change and more mountains appeared. We were surprised by a sudden heavy rainfall, but luckily the sun was back after a couple of minutes. By chance, we saw a collapsed bridge across the river, which we heard of from the news just a couple of days earlier, but didn't know where it was and certainly didn't plan on going there. Luckily, in the accident, no one got seriously hurt. From Kistefos to our rest stop for the night, it was about a 3-hour drive. In Norway, it is allowed to camp almost anywhere as long as you respect the local rules. It is also known as the right to roam. You can read about in the link in the description box below, but to put it in a nutshell, don't litter, don't destroy the environment, don't trespass on private ground or stay near inhabited houses, and respect the no camping signs. Of course, there are hundreds of camping sites across Norway, but if you want to save some extra money as we did, enjoy nature at its finest and are okay with spending a night or two without amenities, this option is perfect for you. Before driving to Norway, we found a website where you can find rest spots and check whether they have a toilet or not. The website that we used is not available anymore, but I put the link to a similar website down in the description below. Overall, the toilets on these rest spots are very clean and free to use, but up north we sometimes encountered more simpler toilets where there was basically a deep hole in the ground. On this very first camping night, which was also probably our first time camping in 10 years, we were lucky to find such a beautiful rest stop with no other people, some camping tables, and all of this right next to the river Otta. We put up our tent right behind the toilet house next to the forest, not in plain sight from the road. We prepared dinner on our camping cooker for the first time, and after a long day with lots of new impressions, we fell asleep to the sound of the river. The air was super clean and fresh. At night the temperature fell to around 10 degrees, but it was still warm enough inside the tent. On the next morning we woke up early, partly from the noise of the first lorries passing by, but it was alright and I haven't felt that relaxed in a long time. Join us next week as we drive towards Molde, stop at the Geiranger Fjord and see snow in summer, and drive via the Trollstigen Pass to our next beautiful rest stop for the night. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and see you next week.